Why do the police touch the back of your car? When officers stop a vehicle, they often touch the trunk or tail light before approaching the driver. While this action may seem insignificant, it actually serves two important purposes. The first reason is to leave behind their fingerprint or DNA on the car. If an unexpected event occurs, such as the driver speeding away or an altercation taking place, this mark provides evidence that the officer was in contact with the vehicle. In past cases, officers have been taken inside a suspect's car, but their fingerprints left on the vehicle helped investigators track it down. This small step can be crucial in identifying and locating a vehicle in case of an emergency. The second reason is to observe the driver's reaction. If someone is hiding something illegal, a sudden tap on the car might catch them off guard and make them act nervously. Law enforcement officers are trained to notice such behaviors, helping them assess a situation even before interacting with the driver. This tactic gives them an early indication of whether something suspicious might be happening. Do not accept a glass of water. When a person is brought to a police station for questioning, an officer may offer them a glass of water. While this might seem like a simple act of hospitality, it actually serves a different purpose. Police sometimes use this strategy to collect DNA samples without needing explicit consent. Under normal circumstances, law enforcement requires substantial evidence to demand a DNA test. However, if an individual drinks from the glass, the officers can legally retrieve the saliva or fingerprints left behind and use it for analysis. Since the glass is considered police property, they do not need additional approval to examine it. Even if a person is innocent, their DNA may still be stored and used in an investigation. Legal experts advise people to be cautious about what they accept or touch while at a police station, as even seemingly harmless actions can have unintended consequences. A police gadget. There is a particular law enforcement tracking device that many people are unaware of. If someone finds this device on their car, it could mean they are being monitored by the police. This device, known as Star Chase, is designed to track vehicles discreetly. Instead of placing it by hand, officers can shoot it onto a moving car using a built-in launcher in their patrol vehicle. Once attached, this small device stays hidden and uses GPS to send real-time location updates to the police. This allows law enforcement to track a suspect's movements without engaging in risky high-speed chases. There have been instances where individuals discovered unfamiliar devices on their cars, only to learn later that they were tracking tools used by the police. Reports suggest that officers are working on even more advanced versions of this technology, making them smaller and harder to detect. Sobriety test. A person doesn't need to stand on one leg for a sobriety test when the police pull someone over. Although the person indeed needs to do a sobriety test in some ways, they don't have to do what's known as a field sobriety test. That is where you stand on one leg, close your eyes and touch your nose, or even take a breathalyzer test if you're pulled over for suspicion of driving under the influence. The suspect doesn't need to do any of the things. In fact, the lawyers would also refuse to do any of the tests and instead advise opting for a blood test. Because they are said to be more accurate if you really haven't been drinking or taking illegal substances, then request a blood test. No need to be afraid of refusing to do a field sobriety test, as there are chances that people with bad balance can fail the test. After this, they are taken to the police station, where a blood test proves their innocence. So it may be easier to simply get it out of the way right then and there. That way you don't have to spend a night in a police station. Fake test. There is a misconception that it is illegal for policemen to lie. However, it is not true. Many police say that lying is a key part of the job, and lying is also a big part of police training. That is why lawyers advise their clients to not say anything which is not necessary to a cop, and simply answer their questions with yes or no. However, there are things they cannot lie about: how the legal system works and having a search warrant. In a particular case, the law official even used a fake lie detector test to make the suspect confess. They asked their questions and afterwards showed the suspect a fake graph. Even though the suspect passed the lie detector test, The cop said he did not, after which the suspect then admitted to being at the scene thinking that he had already been found out. But really the police had no idea before the suspect told them.